The poem begins inside a classroom, but the student is carrying much more than the paper and pen placed before her. She is carrying the pressure of language, the expectations of school, and the memory of a family name. Her experience shows how difficult it can be to speak or write when the language around you does not feel completely like your own. The teacher's patient attention changes the lesson. Instead of treating the student's hesitation as failure, she helps the student discover that the hand can become a voice and that writing can become a way to claim identity. The speaker sits upright and hides her fingers before the blank page. Her hands reveal the tension that she cannot yet explain aloud. Around her, the classroom is full of voices that sound practiced and comfortable, while she hears the teacher's question and feels a distance between the language being spoken and the words held inside her. The moment before writing becomes important because it shows that silence is not emptiness. It can contain memory, fear, family history, and a voice that is still searching for a way to appear. The teacher responds with care instead of impatience. She places her arms around the student's shoulders and gives her warmth, creating a feeling of protection in a place where the student has felt exposed. The teacher's hand rests on the lined paper, linking the student's body to the work of writing. This is more than a correction from a distance. It is a relationship built through attention. The student is guided by someone who understands that learning may require physical reassurance as well as verbal instruction. When the teacher calls the student Seora, the word carries more than a classroom title. It suggests respect, age, history, and recognition. The student is being addressed as a person with a life and a name, not as an anonymous learner whose identity can be replaced by a school exercise. The teacher asks her not to let the hand slip away, turning the act of writing into an act of staying present. The student's name deserves space on the page because her experience deserves space in the world. The student experiences her hand and tongue as tangled. The difficulty is both physical and emotional. The fingers hesitate, and language feels caught before it can become speech. The teacher does not make this struggle into shame. She recognizes that learning a new form of expression requires time, repetition, and trust. The classroom therefore becomes a place where the student can practice without being reduced to her mistakes. The slow work of writing begins to loosen the tension that has kept her words hidden. The teacher begins to form the student's name with careful movements. The comparison to opening the lips of a stubborn grandchild suggests that a hidden word must be encouraged into the open rather than forced out by violence. Each letter brings the student closer to seeing herself on the page. Her name is not just a sequence of marks. It contains family memory, language, belonging, and the right to be recognized. Writing becomes an act of making the invisible visible. The teacher repeats the name until the letters become clearer and more stable. Repetition here is not meaningless copying. It is a form of preservation. Each new mark says that the name matters enough to be written again and remembered. The process also shows how identity can be strengthened through practice. A word that once felt difficult can become familiar, and a hand that once trembled can learn a new rhythm. The name gradually becomes a lasting record rather than a secret kept inside the body. At the end of the poem, the student's name is no longer hidden in her hands. It has been brought onto paper and claimed as something that belongs to her. The ending is quiet, but its meaning is powerful. Writing honors language, ancestry, and the person who is still learning to speak. The student has not simply completed a classroom task. She has begun to recognize herself as someone who can leave a mark. The page becomes a place where memory and identity can remain visible.